So, wanted to talk about the big recruit. So, we haven't had a show since Eyabi Anoma has committed to Michigan. Defensive end. I think he originally committed to Alabama right out of college and went somewhere else. I could not remember. I want to say Cincinnati, but I don't think that's correct. But nonetheless, five-star kid, plays defensive end, incredible pass rush, and Mark actually had an interview with him, I believe, in 20 couple years ago, and I mean, he seems like a really good kid. He's really new to football. I think his junior year in high school was his first year playing, and that year after his junior season he was ranked the number 8 player in the country, which is wild after one one season of football. I saw some highlights and things like that. The kid is talented. It didn't work out at Alabama for whatever reason. He's made a move, and he's here at Michigan. So, what are your thoughts? Any expectations? Like, what are your feelings on it?
No expectations, but I do have optimism because I do believe this coaching staff does a really good job with uh, training their defensive line and teaching guys good technique and how to get the most out of their athletic ability. So, if this kid has some untapped potential, I think it's a decent shot that this coaching staff can get it out. Now, granted, he was at Alabama, and they do a pretty. I think it's well established. They do a pretty good job with getting untapped potential out of their guys as well. So, but it's always good to get kids with low risk, high upside, into your program. So, and also look. We had to replace 2 first round pass rushers. One guy wasn't taken in the first round, but that's only due to injury. And so, that's not easy to do. And so if he can bring anything and get into the rotation, he may not be a starter, but can he get into the rotation at defensive end and maybe be a pass rush specialist? That'll be great because you're going to need it at certain points in the season.
Yeah, and the benefit. So there's a couple things trending well for this. Is number one his position. I mean, he doesn't play a linebacker spot or a defensive back where there's going to be 10 or 15 different things that he potentially could do. I mean, that playing defensive end, that is as close to a plug and play position as you could get, because you can line him up out there and just say, listen, go get. I mean, even if you want to say, like you mentioned, just a pass rush specialist, third and medium, third and long, just go get the quarterback. We don't want you worrying about reading anything. Just go get the quarterback. And I think he's talented enough to do that. And on top of it, with the way that the schedule plays out, you're going to have 3 weeks bare minimum to really get him acclimated. I mean, this is a bit of a late transfer as far as the timing of it. I mean, you're in camp, but this is as good as a situation as it could possibly be, because there's going to be zero pressure on him. It's just come on in, we'll get you coached up. But I mean, I would be playing him at least 20 30 snaps a game these first 3 weeks, like until you kind of figure out exactly what you have. I mean, let's get him acclimated. Let's get him used to playing in this.
I can't say that. You got to earn that, Des. If you've had kids who waited their turn and put in the work and that produced on the practice field. I'm not going to not give them the repetitions that they deserve. Just to see what happened to this kid. That's what.
Well, I didn't say I'm gonna just bench a guy, but
Okay.
you tell me there's no way he can get 20 snaps in you know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, especially when the game gets out of hand, for sure, he'll naturally probably get that. And also a good thing is, I definitely.
And also too, I mean, come on, man, this is big boy football. I don't have time for feelings and all that stuff. Like,
no, I'm not
let's
saying
go.
give a kid
The best guy is gonna play.
Like, oh, you just waited your turn. No, I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying, like, hey,
Okay.
yeah. But
I just want that to be clear.
yeah,
We ain't no feelings here. This is all
yeah.
about winning,
Hey man, look
trending
it.
towards 11-0 and going into Columbus and taking care of business. That's what this season's about.
That's
And
the
you never know. I mean, a kid like this could be the difference in, you know what I mean, in whatever, Columbus being a 2-point loss to being a 7-point win. You just never know. It, especially with a kid who he's got talent. Like I said, I saw some clips of him in high school, but I mean, you don't get rated a 5-star for no reason. Like, it's the potential that you have, and if Jim Harbaugh and that coaching staff can realize it, I mean, there's no reason he can't help supplement some of those sacks that went to the NFL this past season.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that he has to earn that. If he's earned that in practice, then I have no problem with it. I just didn't. I guess the way I heard you saying it was, look, you got him in here, throw him out there 20, 30 snaps just to see what you got. That's the way I was hearing it. As opposed to if he's earned the right to be out there, compared to his, his teammates, then yeah, by all means. So that's fine with me. I just want to make sure he's earning it. That's all. And kids are playing based on the merit they earn through doing the right things in practice and earning the trust of the coaching staff and stuff like that. Um, that's it. But and like I said again, if he's a kid that we can get, good. Doesn't have to be great. Just like I said, just be in the rotation, be a guy who can go in there. Exactly. Let's Toast Media said he's depth. If he shines, that's exactly what I said. It's low risk, right? And someone said, well, it's not low risk because he's had stuff off the field. Low risk in terms of even if that happens again, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, kid, you kicked off our team. It doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna hurt the team. Like it just didn't work out. So there's no risk to our team. But if he does provide anything, it's a positive. So that's just how it is.
And to me, there's it's still low risk because it's not as if Michigan is gonna get some bad rap about it. It's gonna be, listen, we saw this young man. He had potential. He had some issues at his last stops. That's fine. We're willing to give him a second chance. We're trying to help him get on the right track, and that's it. Unfortunately, things didn't work out, and boom, you're good to go. Like, this isn't, you know, it's fine. It's low risk, like you said, and potentially high reward. Like I said, if this young man is here for 2-3 seasons and is racking up 25, 30 sacks in a career, I mean, yeah, you're in really good shape. So it's yeah, as I mentioned, I think he's got some potential and can definitely help supplement, like I said, some of those sacks that Aiden and Ojabo took with them. So you just never know, man. But get the opportunity to get a 5-star is something that in most cases you shouldn't pass up, and Jim Harbaugh didn't do that. So that is
Yeah, and,
pretty solid.
and let's say it works out for them. Let's say he gets here, he earns playing time, and he's able to produce on the field. Well, that's another feather in the cap that you can use for additional kids in the transfer portal, and that's the positive side of like this new era of college football, where kids, highly talented kids, hit the transfer portal every year, and now it's a new way that you can get kids on the field right away that are highly talented and experienced, or not experienced, but just at least highly talented, that you can plug in right away. You don't have to stash them for a year, And this is, and if you're a team like Michigan, in which you've lost some guys in the NFL, this is case in point could be another way or an example where it works out, where you're able to get another highly talented kid that's ready to play. So there's definitely a lot of positives that can come out of just going well for Michigan. You know.
Yeah. And I think overall it's a good move. Like, I believe Let's Toast Media said that 5-star guys like this don't land in Michigan's lap, and I would agree with that at the defensive end spot. Now, with saying that, they've still done a terrific job of getting edge rushers, those guys developed and performing at a really high level. But I would agree with that point that it hasn't been just a revolving door of 5-star defensive ends that are rolling to Ann Arbor. So like I said, low risk. If the guy can play, he can play. And I think it's a really good move. And like I said, if playing a wide receiver, running back, those positions of safety, like it's difficult because you have a lot of different scenarios that you have to be ready for. Whereas at a defensive end, I mean, that can be a very seamless plug and play position. So I think it's a good move overall.